Hi, my name's Dylan and I'll be presenting the Animal Squad level Cityscape. Um, so starting off, the player is immediately facing this alleyway, and through context clues in the previous sections or levels, or possibly a cutscene, the players will know that the mayor has been taken hostage aboard a blimp which is getting ready to take off above this skyscraper. And so it's your job as the animal squad to help the mayor and defeat the enemies. So immediately starting off, the player is directed towards uh, this alleyway, down this alleyway, and is immediately presented with a slightly wider area. This is to get the players to allow the players to have some space to move about, jump, try and learn the controls, possibly try to fight each other if they see fit. Um, they'll also be able to pick up uh, different health and ammo items if they decide to use any in this section, and they'll then immediately be able to jump over this fence, through these boxes and around the corner, which they can't go through because of another fence, so they have to go up this ladder. All of this section is directly towards the main objective, which is the blimp up above. And from here on out, there's a slightly smaller or slightly larger platforming section where the player's got to be careful in order to navigate across the buildings, which introduces a slight platforming challenge. And so the player will come up against these enemies down here, but first they can have a overlook to see what enemies are there, a little vantage point to see what enemies are there, and so they can decide how they want to sort of take on these enemies, whether it's directly or sneak around or attempt to sneak around and try to get to the building as soon as possible. So the player will have to jump down these skyscraping areas, but the enemies have spotted us, so we'll have to take care of them, try to defeat them. And as you'll see, there was one shooting enemy and 3 melee enemies. The melee enemies are slightly tougher, but it also gives the player a challenge to try and sort of give themselves some good spacing and try to give them just a slight challenge before there are any larger challenges ahead. So the player has two options. They can either jump up and try to go through this area where the truck is, or they can walk through this orange attachment to the building. And entering the building, you'll be greeted with some more enemies. At the moment, they all seem to rush towards you, try to find some immediate cover. However, in the future, they would be set out a little bit more carefully, so they would have a little bit more of a challenge rather than just getting stuck within this one area. So once you've walked in this room, there's two options. However, this option is sort of blocked by the boxes, so you are leaded a little bit more to this area, and with due to sort of the glass being there, you can see that there's an exit door, So the players might want to immediately run towards this door and try to open the doors, but the player needs a key card to access this area. So they'll have a little explore, either it be it through this quiet area where there would be more health pickups, or towards this door down here where there would be a few more enemies, and in this room there would be hostages which you could save, however they're not quite working at the moment. And then once you've saved them, made sure that all the enemies are gone, you can pick up this key card and make your way to exit through the door. There we go. And now you can move on to this area, which is more of a construction site for the new skyscraper being built. And because there are lots of different objects, all boxes and things like that, being scattered around the place to try and build up this new skyscraper, you'll be introduced to more shooting enemies and different areas with ammo in them, and possibly some secrets. And you continue on making your way through these combat areas. You'll have to move up a few levels, but unluckily this area is blocked off, so you have to make your way through the second floor to try and find another way. So these rooms off to the side, other than these bits of cover here, allow the players to sort of have a little bit more room to breathe if they're feeling a bit overwhelmed by the enemies. However, at the moment we have quite a easier challenge just to get through to these next areas. So the players can now make their way to this lift, which gives them a little bit of downtime before the final challenges and after quite a heavy combat section. So once they've made their way to the top of the still being built skyscraper, the players can get an overview of the blimp, and the area is still stacked with enemies. So being very careful, the player can jump across, and will now have to fight these final enemies. And once the enemies are defeated, they can then board the blimp and complete the mission. Thank you for watching. That's been the start to finish of the Animal Squad Cityscape level.